What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Switch Podcast, man. I'm your host, Q1 Humphreys. And last night, we saw the New York Knicks put an end to the Philadelphia 76ers season, and it was a really good game. The Knicks ended up winning 118 to 115. They ended up going, well, they didn't go to overtime, but it looked like for a second they were going to go to overtime. Josh Hart hit a big three at the end of the game. Jalen Brunson had another big performance, and that put an end to the Philadelphia 76ers season. Now, so far in this playoffs, I have been very wrong. My predictions have been wrong. I picked the 76ers to win this series just because I felt like the 76ers were not a true 7 seed. We know they were top 3 in the East, and then Joel Embiid got injured for a little over a month, and they fell down to the play-in. And I felt, okay, Embiid's gonna have his way this series, which he did for the most part. I think he only had one bad game in this series, but he wasn't healthy. He was not healthy, and they relied on Tyrese Maxey, who performed throughout this series. Tobias Harris, who did not perform throughout this series. We're gonna get into him a little later. But I had the 76ers winning this series, and that is the second series, or might even be the third series that I got wrong. I had the Suns beating the Timberwolves. That was wrong. And I had the Bucks beating the Pacers, pending, whether Giannis played and all that. But I had the Bucks beating the Pacers, and the Pacers actually beat them last night. So, with this win, the Knicks, the 3 seed Knicks, advanced to the second round, and they will face off against the 6 seed. My bad. Yeah, the 2 seed Knicks will face off against the 6 seed Indiana Pacers, which I think will be a good series. I think the Knicks are gonna win that series. I think the Knicks are now the second best team in the East, behind Boston, of course. And I don't know how well they match up with Boston, because Boston is gonna play that defense. Boston is gonna guard, and they have a lot of weapons. We got to see what happens with Porzingis. Porzingis got injured a couple of games ago. We got to see what happens with him, how long he's out, because that may play a big part in this series as well. But before I dive into the Philadelphia 76ers, I want to talk about the New York Knicks. I want to talk about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson over the last 4 games has scored 41 points, 40 points, 47 points, and 39 points. In the final 4 games of this series, he's been absolutely spectacular. He's been great really throughout the whole regular season, but the first 2 games of this series, it was okay. The regular season was a fluke. He's not really. It's different playing in the playoffs, especially as a small ball dominant guard. You have the whole defense really keying in on you for a whole series. It can get tough, but Jalen Brunson rose. He rose to the occasion and absolutely performed. He was the MVP of this team once again in this 6-game series. I want to elaborate more on Brunson, because I haven't talked about the Knicks much. I haven't talked about the Knicks really at all on this channel, except for my trade deadline video, and I talked about Brunson when I was talking about who I felt like should be starting for the All-Star game. But Jalen Brunson is a bad man. He's a dog. Like he's literally like a little pit bull running around the court, hitting fadeaways and threes and drawing fouls and getting and ones. Is actually insane. And to see what he's doing with the Knicks this season, especially without their second star Julius Randle, with him missing really the whole second half of the season, for that team to keep winning and to actually win more with the injuries, he's put the team on his back. He's playing, knowing Tom Thibodeau, he's probably playing 45 minutes a game. The fact that he's been able to stay healthy has been a testament to this Knicks team, and his play has been even more of a testament. They went out and got Dante DiVincenzo. They went out and got Josh Hart. They went out and got guys that they have history with Brunson. They all played together at Villanova, won a championship at Villanova in college. But to see them playing in the NBA and playing at this stage at an elite level every single game, Josh Hart has been insane for the Knicks. And it's not even like he's scoring a lot more. He's hitting the three ball a lot better in this series. But he's just doing everything. He's leading the team in rebounds at like 6'6", 6'5". It's something like, we haven't seen a small guy, because I guess he classifies himself as a 4. We haven't seen a small guy get rebounds like this since Westbrook. When he was MVP Westbrook and with OKC. But I just love what I see from this Knicks team. I don't know if they're gonna beat the Celtics, like I said, but I definitely have them moving on past the Indiana Pacers. And I also want to talk about the 2018 draft class for the NBA. The 2018 draft class for point guards might be the best point guard class of all time. You got Trae Young, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson was drafted in the second round of that draft to the Dallas Mavericks. So New York fans, you know what I'm saying? Y'all should be excited. Y'all should be excited because another thing with the Knicks is even if y'all don't go all the way this year, y'all getting Julius Randle back and y'all have cap room money. Y'all have space to go out and get another star alongside this core that y'all got right now. So it's the dark days have been in New York for a long time when it comes to playing basketball, but now y'all on y'all way for real. Y'all on y'all way, man. Y'all have an absolute dog, a star, a guy that's built for the moment to lead y'all through this next era in next basketball. But we're talking about a new era. We talked about a newer era on the rise with the Knicks. I want to talk about an era that might be coming to an end with the Philadelphia 76ers. So the 76ers, ever since they drafted Joel Embiid in the 2013-2014 draft, they've never made it out of the second round. And you have a guy that's been arguably a top 5, top 3 player for the last 3 to 4 seasons, and you can't get out that second round is disappointing. It's very disappointing. So I want to go back and look at the timeline about when everything went left when it comes to this process. I want to look at 2019. 2019 might have been the best 76ers team that Joel Embiid has been a part of. They had Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, and Joel Embiid. And they ended up losing in Game 7. They've lost many Game 7s. I'm going to read this list. They lost in Game 7 to the Toronto Raptors off the Kawhi shot that bounced 4 times off the rim and ended up going in. And then after that, things kind of fell apart for the 76ers. 2019 free agency, you had Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris all due for contract extensions. The 76ers decided to go with Harris and Simmons and let Jimmy Butler walk, and he ended up going to the Miami Heat. And we know the story with the Miami Heat. They've been, they've been playoff risers ever since Jimmy got there, because that's just who Jimmy is. So you go into 2020 season, the bubble happens. They lose in the first round because Ben Simmons missed the playoff series. They lose in the first round of the bubble. 2021, they were the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. Joel Embiid, once again, just like this year, he's injured in the playoffs. They win the first round matchup against the Washington Wizards. In the second round, they face off with a red-hot Atlanta Hawks team. You go to Game 7 in Philadelphia, and you lose. Yes, they're red hot, but that team was not better than y'all. So you lose that game. The whole Ben Simmons fiasco with him basically being a no-show in the fourth quarter of the Atlanta Hawks series happens. The whole city turns on Ben Simmons. The team and the organization turns on Ben Simmons. So they say, fine, Ben Simmons, you want out. We're going to get rid of you, and we're going to go get James Harden. James Harden, who you would believe would be the perfect guard to put with Joel Embiid, a guy that can score and a guy that can play make and a guy that loves to run that pick and roll with Joel Embiid. So they make the trade. That season, you only have half a season with James Harden, so I guess the expectations can't be too high. They end up losing they end up losing in the second round to the Miami Heat, led by Jimmy Butler. That was the whole Jimmy Butler walking through the tunnel saying Tobias Harris over me, yada yada yada. Boom. Fast forward to 2023. 2023, you're in another Game 7 in the second round with the Boston Celtics. And James Harden and Joel Embiid have a stinker. I mean, a stinker. They were terrible that game. You get eliminated. And then this whole James Harden fiasco happens, and you end up trading James Harden to the Clippers for a couple of players, Nick Batum, among a bunch of other players that really did not play for the 76ers. And you lose in 2024 to the Knicks in 6 games. A series that, really with the way the games have been going, you could have won this series. If you close games better, you could have won this series in maybe 5 games. So that brings me to this question. Can Joel Embiid be the best player on a championship team? And I think the answer is yes, but history has told us no. Not because of the fact that he can't play. I still believe Joel Embiid is one of the top 5, top 3 players in the NBA, but his health. He that's a big boy trying to move like a ballerina, and that's tearing up those knees. Tearing up those knees. So now you're coming into the playoffs on one leg. You're still putting up crazy numbers on one leg, but if you had 2 legs, how much crazier would you be? So my answer is yes, but he's got to find a way to get healthy. And this has been an issue with a lot of players, especially now. You got Kawhi Leonard, Zion Williamson, a lot of stars getting injured at the worst. Giannis Antetokounmpo, a lot of stars getting injured at the worst time, and it's killing their team because your whole season you're dominating, and then right when they need you most, you can't play because you're injured. So what's next for the 76ers? So I think this team is really we're gonna see this team gonna look very different next year, and I think Tobias Harris, the third star. He's the third star for the 76ers behind Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, who had a breakout season. Tyrese Maxey's crazy nice. Tobias Harris, your third star. He is good. He is due for a new contract. He's a free agent this year. That contract he signed back in 2019 is up this year. They're gonna let him walk. I feel like you gotta let him walk. He was getting $30 million a year, and he scored 0 points in an elimination game, taking 2 shots. You gotta let him walk. Tyrese Maxey is definitely getting a max contract this season because why not? He's looking like the next top guard star, one of the next top guards in the NBA. Go ahead and lock him up now. Don't even worry about it later. But a big thing is only 3 players currently are on guaranteed contracts for the 76ers next season. One of those players are Joel Embiid. So your top guy is locked up for next season at least. So they have a lot to work to do as far as putting together a team to put on the court next year. But an interesting thing with the 76ers is that they have money to go out and get another star. Go out and get another star even after they resign Maxey to the max contract he's going to get. They have money to go out and get a star. So who would you get? Who would I get? And I'm probably going to throw this name around with a bunch of other teams. But the 76ers are first. Paul George. Paul George is, I feel like, the perfect guy to put with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey because he's Tobias Harris times 40. Paul George, one of the top forwards in the game, one of the top wings in the game, two-way guy, a guy that can win you playoff games, a guy that can take over playoff games, a guy that's not afraid of the moment. Yes, people make the pandemic playoff jokes, but he's still a very good basketball player, and I think he would fit really well beside Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. But Knicks fans, stand up. New York, stand up. That's all I got for y'all today, man. Philly fans, you know what I'm saying? Good luck. Good luck. We'll see how we'll see if the process is over, or if y'all gonna cheat, or if y'all gonna keep trying to go on with this process. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We got a couple more Game 6s coming out tonight. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Orlando Magic in Game 6. And we have the Dallas Mavericks versus the Los Angeles Clippers Game 6. We'll see how those games go. I won a couple Game 7s, so we're just going to see what happens. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share with y'all folks, man. We out. Yay!